So place your cell phone on silent and vibrate. So we'll call the meeting to order. Public comment. The board takes public comment on all items in the regular agenda. Public input on a regular agenda item will be taken at its appropriate discussion. Public input on an item on the agenda or consent agenda may be identified and requested for consideration by the board at this time. The board may request an item be placed on a future agenda or for a consent agenda item to be moved to the regular agenda for public comment. So, any public comment? Okay, the consent agenda, consideration of approving the May 26, 2016 meeting minutes. Everybody had a chance to read over?
Move to approve.
We have a motion to approve. Second?
I'll second.
We have a second. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay. Presentation of the monthly financial report and event calendar.
Those should also be in the packet as well.
Any special notes or comments or anything on it?
I think the last Fund 410 balance was from June 30th, I think it is, that it says on there. We're still waiting on getting July 30th.
Do you have a comparable from the year before, or do you know what it was the year before, just for hotel occupancy tax?
I do not, but I can
Here it
work
says
on
the
it for you.
budget was 2.3 million. Is that how much? I was just curious, like, how down is that versus last year? Is it like a significant amount? Is there like a ballpark percentage or anything like that?
Talk about the overall fund, or?
No, just as far as hotel occupancy tax goes, just that figure itself. You guys know, hotel people? Was last year significantly higher though, or not?
I don't remember.
What the year before was.
The year before was? Okay.
I don't remember being this far behind, though. I mean, I think this thing says 75% of the year's been lapsed, and we're only at 63.1%. I don't know that we were that far behind last time.
I was just curious, trying to get a gauge in my head of where hotel occupancy tax is going. It's obviously going down slightly.
Yes, sir.
At some rate.
I have it out in my car.
No, that's okay.
From the CV.
Just curious. Okay.
From the CVB meeting, though, from what they said, July was a good month. So hopefully July, when we get July numbers, that will be a little bit better.
Okay.
So, all right, any other discussion?
I had one quick question. Is there a fund balance policy implemented?
As in?
As in the amount that we need to set aside in that fund balance? I know there was discussions in the past of implementing a fund balance requirement, 90 days, 6 months.
I don't recall if it's a written policy, but I think 90 days has always been
90.
our guideline.
All right. All in favor of approving the financial reports?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. All right, regular agenda. Discussion of Bly Arena facilities needs and recommending matters related thereto.
So today I really want to speak about the Bly Arena. Of course, we did do a walkthrough of it whenever we were doing all of the other facilities as well. And there's been plenty of concerns that have came up about the Bly Arena. Different users of the venue, they have many concerns about what we're doing to bring it up to code and basically just make it better for them in general. Just a little bit of background on the Bly Arena. The rental is $100 a day or $50 for 4 hours for non-commercial, non-ticketed uses. And then it's also $150 a day or $75 for commercial, non-ticketed uses as well. In 2015, the Bly Arena brought in $3,650, and then in this year so far, up to September 1st, we've brought in $5,430. The biggest part about the Bly Arena that we know of needs for it would be the bathroom. Also, the concession stand definitely needs a lot of work. A lot of this is not ADA compliant, and then they would like to add arena lights as well, and then the bleachers with steps and rails too as well. From my personal feelings about it, it does get used pretty often. It has been getting used pretty often lately, at least once a week. But the amount that we're asking people to pay for this, I don't think that it's the right amount. I really feel that we're going to need to look into possibly going up in price on that venue, if anything, because right now we're having different issues with it. They're asking for us to do more work with the venue, but with it only being $50 for 4 hours for non-commercial, I mean, that doesn't do anything for us. You know, it doesn't give us no type of working, work. We can't do anything.
Do we have a budget of what this would cost?
No, sir. I mean, that would I could only imagine, because everything is basically non-compliant right now. There's several issues with it, with that building, and then I've also had a few talks with a few of the renters, and as well as council members as well, and everybody's on the fence about it in either way of.
How much does it cost to rent the Spur Arena?
I do not have an idea.
I didn't think it was much more than that. Now I guess maybe they can't use the Spur Arena instead of the Bly Arena. Is it substantially more?
Spurs for, yes, sir, for stock show.
We don't have any
And I just-
estimates of repair or
No, sir. I
upgrade?
just wanted to bring up an open discussion about it, get some feedback from you all on this item.
I'm not sure if we can charge
what-
enough to cover all of this.
No, sir, we don't. And the list that I did receive from one of the gentlemen that does rent it out many of times, he had plenty of things on there that I just can't see that we would actually spend money on it. I just can't see that we would do that, because it just doesn't bring in enough revenue for us.
I think the opposite would be true, too. We really can't raise the asking fee if we're not going to put anything into it.
So there has been talks of looking into if the stock show would like to possibly do a lease with it. I mean, there's different ways to look at it. I mean,
That's probably a smart idea. I mean, if you got something that's not working and you don't want to put money into it, that might be a good option.
they've been asking us to work the dirt, and going out there to work the dirt, I'm quite sure that takes several hours. And like I said, we're just not receiving enough funds from this to be able to be out there doing other things like that as well.
And just to back up and give some background, I think some folks may recall that we acquired this facility as part of the purchase to do the drainage work around the Coliseum and the fairgrounds. That's how we got this facility. One advantage we saw to it is that it has some storage that we needed, and we do use that storage at that facility. But also we saw it just as a supplemental venue. We never saw it as a money-raising venue, and that's the way it's been. And in terms of, I think the rental rates are low too, but in terms of the comment about getting enough revenue to do some of the improvements is true. And it's really the same for other facilities as well. The work that we do at the Coliseum, the revenue that we bring in doesn't generate enough revenue to do a lot of the improvements. It helps to cover operations. So it really becomes a recommendation from y'all. What do you think that we could do with it, should do with it? And it becomes a council decision whether they want to put money into fixing it up.
think the lease with the stock show and rodeo seems like something that might be interesting to look down.
Agree.
Have they shown an interest in leasing it?
I've not spoke to them about this issue.
Because they use it for every big event for stalls and all, don't they?
Yes.
I think there's just so much more that needs attention that leave this as it
Why don't
is.
you investigate what Tim said and see if they would be interested in doing that? And at the very least, see if we can figure out some kind of estimate of what this is gonna cost. I know we're not gonna recoup it, but at least we'd have a number. But
It's losing a lot of money, right? Or no?
Oh, yes, sir. I mean, just in repairs as well. Yes, sir.
Any other thoughts? I think the lease does hold
About
some
selling it.
promise.
I mean, I don't know. Does the city like to do stuff like that? I mean, I don't know.
Would it be better for the department overall just not to even lease it out? Just use it as storage and that's it?
Not try to use it.
Yeah. I mean, because at these prices, we can't, we only made, what, 5,000 for the year?
Right.
yeah, but I
What
I
did it
think
cost
it does
us?
provide a service, though,
Yes,
right?
It does provide a service. It is getting used for public and private events as well. So just shutting it down. I mean, we have one. I would say she's a promoter. I mean, she has an event there weekly for the most part. She's been doing them pretty often, and she would have maybe 100 people out there, or So I mean,
What are they doing? Are they practicing
away
on
the
barrel
service.
racing? What kind of events are they having out there? Do you know?
Most of them are more roping.
Okay, yeah,
A
roping.
little bit of barrel racing.
Kind of a
I would
practice
say.
facility for
Yes, sir.
for them.
But weren't there some pretty good liability issues out there?
Liability.
Like on the bleachers and like rotting out bleachers and,
Safety and
Yes.
And the bathrooms were
yeah.
Especially the
unusable.
bathrooms.
The bathrooms, I think, were unusable, right? Or no?
I don't think they were unusable. I just think they weren't compliant.
I'm sure they'd rather have a nice concession stand, but I know that the bathrooms and the bleachers are the big items. You know what I mean?
Yes,
That
sir.
If we were going to look at something, those are the two items I think that we would take a look at.
Yes, sir. I mean, they asked for fans in there as well, the big fans. I mean, it was just, things that they see in other cities, basically.
That does bring up a point. I'm wondering if we could get our risk management office to do inspection from their perspective in terms of any liability issues they might see.
Good idea.
So do we need action
Which-
on this, or is this just?
It's just an open discussion. Just give me feedback and let me know what
Look
answers
into
you
the
would like.
lease option and then I guess get back with the lease option seems like the most viable option.
And I like the risk management idea.
So I'll go to risk management first and take care of that one, and then
Any other discussion?
No, I mean, just to end, I know that there's going to be some costs involved and things like that, but I know that there's people out there that use it for roping and things like that, and they use it as a practice facility. I'd still like to see that they have access to it, because I don't know where else they'd go if they didn't have these facilities to go out and train and things like that, and I think that's important as well.
So we'll follow up next time on this.
yes, ma'am.
Y'all ready to move on? Stripes River Fest update.
This year's Stripes River Fest, fourth annual Stripes River Fest, is taking place September 16th and 17th in the Neffs area, and also, as you all might know, we also have 2 concerts that will take place at the River Stage as well. In 2015, we had an average of, I think it was 12,000 attendees out there with the event. It went very well. Of course, we did have rain during a few periods, but it still was a great event. This year, I think we've stepped it up a notch and provided more entertainment and also other events as well to add to it. Some of the traditional events that we have had at Stripes River Fest 2016 was the Vega Washer Pitching Tournament, which will be coming back as well. The Kids Court with petting zoo and pony rides, and a 3-player golf scramble. The new events that we do have this year, Shannon's Kids Stage with the talent show that'll be taking place. We have different sports challenges that include 3-on-3 basketball challenge, a volleyball challenge, as well as a tug-of-war challenge as well taking place. And then 2 nights of concerts. The first night that we have with AJ Castillo and Stephanie Montiel taking place on Friday, September 16th. And then our finale is with Randy Rogers Band and Kyle Park at the River Stage. Some of the key sponsors, of course, Stripes, they have been with us now for going on 3 years, as well as Shannon. Shannon also was a great sponsor for this year. There's plenty of them. Went blank on them. Glaziers. There's just a lot of several businesses that actually helped us out this year, more than what we've done in the past few years as well. The expectations for this one is to actually have at least 14,000 people in attendance. The concert alone, I would expect about 3,500 people in attendance, and it's also free for kids under 12. So we're
Both concerts together should be more than that.
both concerts together. I would imagine it's going to be 5,500 at least. You know, and also I think with the promotion this year, we were able to get a lot more sponsors due to the concerts and due to the bigger events that are taking place this year with it. I think that added a totally different aspect. We started to have out-of-town vendors reach out to us that wanted to come down, and of course they wanted to put their vendor booths inside the River Stage, but they still just want to be a part of Riverfest in a whole. We have some other sponsors that are still out there that we're waiting on, that are very interested in working with us this year and also doing something bigger with us next year as well. And also we're pretty much setting the lead right now, because next year we'll be adding on a barbecue competition with Riverfest as well, which will be with the IBC. And it'll be definitely a huge turnout. They have teams that come from all over Texas and Oklahoma and have this barbecue competition. Any questions about Riverfest, though?
I have one question, and I might be a little late to the game on this, but are we at the point now where we generate enough revenue between sponsorships and attendees that we cover the cost for this event?
No, sir.
Over the cost of what?
To cover the cost of the event.
Yeah.
Well, we do, but we
Yeah,
still.
the direct costs,
Okay.
not staff costs.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, we're to the good $20,000 right now.
Thank you.
But if you're thinking on the side, the way I was looking at it is that we don't cover the cost of the artist. The artist is, we actually have a promoter that brings in the artists and stuff, so they cover that cost of it. We just take care of all the other costs in need for the concert. But hopefully, I'm hoping that we can get to the point where we can actually bring the artists ourselves.
So do you have a contingency plan for whichever night it rains?
If it rains, we do plan on moving to the Coliseum for the concerts. They'll still go on. Anything else on Riverfest? This year we're not doing an actual run. We're just doing basically it's a treasure hunt for the kids. They'll just have to go to different sections, find different items, and win a prize at the end of it. We did add, like I said, a few different elements to this year's event, including a tug-of-war challenge, which will probably be pretty big too as well. People are very interested in that. We have Pee-wee games that'll be played as well in that area too. The washer pitching tournament, they'll have a kids washer pitcher tournament this year taking place. So I mean, there's plenty of different events this year that people will come out and enjoy with us.
How come no 5K color run? Everybody seemed to enjoy that.
I think the color run has ran its course. I think a lot of times when you look at it, that we have a run basically every month. So for me, I'm really looking at it from what can we do different than anybody else. And so for us, it's basically taking away the run. Yes, the run used to bring in great revenue for us, but also I think it's starting to get stale too as well when you start looking at the numbers.
And we saw the participation start to go down from each year for the color run.
Well, last year we did it in the evening, right?
It did,
Versus
right.
the day.
And we had another, we had a company that was running that.
Oh, there was.
It was a company that was running it, but we still did at least 90% of the work, though.
Oh, really?
Anything else? Okay, consideration of future agenda items.
Any-
Are we discussing at all the proposal to city council on the
Facility
on the
needs.
facility needs
Facility
and things
needs.
like that? I mean, I got your email that you talked to the city manager.
Facility needs item, we'll actually bring it up September 6th. We were supposed to bring it up in August, but per city manager, we decided to move it to September. So I feel good on some of the issues on some of the items that's on there, but I'm glad that we're going to be able to bring it to them. We also did bring it up in our last budget meeting that they also had too as well. I brought up all the items too.
And then on our last meeting, we talked about doing an update on the auditorium project.
Yes, nobody was available this meeting, but I'll have somebody the next time for it.
So you said September 6th, sorry, I'm bouncing back.
Yes.
September 6th, who's discussing it? Like at
I'll be discussing all the civic event facility needs.
at city council? Or
Yes,
is that
ma'am, city council.
So do you
And
have
you all are more than welcome to attend, and definitely speak in public comment, definitely.
I plan on being there.
Since it's been a while, do you have the like the final proposal that you're taking to city council?
Yes, I have the slides already ready to go, but we're still just tweaking certain areas.
Any way we can see them ahead of time, so if we do come, we can just.
Will do. I'll send them to you all before the meeting.
All right, any other future agenda items? Okay. Anything else?
No, I mean, before we adjourn, though, I do want to commend Sydney and his staff for the couple of shows that they've had. I know I drove by the River Stage, what was it, in July, I think it was?
Yes, sir.
And, man, it was a full house, and everything seemed to be going smoothly. The Beach Boys coming up here, so you guys are doing a great job with the promoters y'all are getting that are bringing those kind of talents, and hopefully you continue to do that in the future.
Thank you. I also, for the next meeting, I will have you all badges so you all can be able to come to some of these events and just see how things run for us and what all we have to go through, to put on these events. So I definitely want to make sure that you all can stop by and, see what Civic event staff does during these events.
Yeah, I was surprised when I went out. Everybody's out there working. I mean, it was 11
Everybody.
o'clock at night, and Don's out there waiting for them to close, and everybody's out there doing their thing. I mean, believe me, these guys are putting on a long day whenever there's an event. So I commend all y'all.
You have a final number on last night?
Last night was approximately 4,000 people in attendance. I mean, it was a great event. I mean, the line was all the way back to the street for the most part. So I mean, and the promoters for that event, they're going to come back and do other events here. They were very surprised how it went. I remember that in the first hour they sold 1,000 tickets for the concert, and then by the end of that day they sold 1,800 tickets. So I mean that's different. We try to prepare them and say, hey, we're a walk-up crowd. Don't get excited, and then you sell 1,000 tickets in an hour. You're like, okay.
It was refreshing to see pre-sales.
Yeah, the pre-sales helped a lot.
Pre-sales definitely helped out. I think they did very well with promotions all around too as well with it. And then it was just a long time coming to have the Beach Boys out here as well. It's always been in the talks, but it never seemed to happen. So it finally made it.
Well, good job, you guys.
And that does say a lot, because the Beach Boys were just in Abilene last year.
It's the same promoter that brought them to Abilene as well.
So for them to bring that big of a crowd, that close of a venue, plus that close.
Well, it seems like they're testing San Angelo's waters, and as long as we respond, the city responds, I think we can continue having those types of things. So it was great. I mean, it was good to see.
Okay, move to adjourn?